Michaela, just tell us why you think Common Core is actually detrimental to education in Massachusetts.
I think that Common Core is harmful to Massachusetts students because I think it brings the curriculum down. I don't think it's fair for kids to have to take Algebra 1 3 years in a row. I don't think students should be doing, we're capable of doing more, and we've proven that. We're ranked 6th internationally, or we were in 2011. So to bring us down to the Common Core standards, and I've seen it in my friends, I've seen it in my siblings, it's not right.
So what are you planning to do to promote this education effort among your peers?
I'm currently in the process of writing an article for my school newspaper. I'm just trying to get the discussion started because I know in my town it wasn't something that was discussed at all. The only person I've ever heard talk about it was my math teacher, who's upset with the situation because she's the one teaching math, the same math course 3 years in a row. And then these kids are less prepared for the higher up AP calculus. They've never taken pre-calc in the new core curriculum. So I don't understand how kids go from Algebra 2 to AP calculus. I couldn't have done it. So I just want people to know more about it, especially I live in Walpole and there's not much being said about it in my community.
Do you think that the media are doing a good job or a very bad job at reporting it?
I haven't seen much of anything televised. I've seen recently, in the past week, I saw a segment about how teachers are being evaluated and about how 99% of them passed and how only 1% was deemed unsatisfactory in the evaluation. So I don't know what that says about their system of evaluation or how they're evaluating. I've read a few articles online. I think the websites that you guys have are awesome in just providing information. I think it's also important to talk to the students going through it because no one's saying what it's like to. I know there are kids reading their town's water and sewage manuals in an English class, and I don't understand how you can go from reading interesting stuff to reading that and expect kids, and the percentage of kids reading, which has declined in the past decade, I don't understand how you're going to get that percentage up through the Common Core's method in language arts. It doesn't make sense.
You and your peers, you've talked about those sort of very uninteresting informational texts that they push onto you?
Yeah, I personally don't really see much of the effects. Last year I was in the honors for sophomores and I loved it. My teacher was amazing, great. This year I'm in AP language and composition, which is focusing on rhetoric and the effects of that and how to use language. AP Lang kind of hones in more on informational text as well, but it does it in an interesting way and in synthesizing that information. And I love the class, but I know I don't know. I haven't seen it as much in my community as read about it online and heard from other people about I think it's being phased in more in the middle schools than in the high schools, but I know it's still becoming a big part of how we're tested.
Great. What about the testing and the over testing? What can you tell us about it?
I don't know if I know enough to speak about it. I've always taken MCAS. I'm done taking MCAS. Last year was my last year, thank God. But some of my classmates their classes had to take PARCC last year, and they thought it was just a weird test, but I personally haven't taken it, so I can't speak to it.
Now, the examples of how weird a test it is, do you think that those students could sort of put together a little bit of a presentation so we can educate people in the state about it?
I don't know. Like I said, I didn't take it, and my friends that did take it, it was proposed to us, like it was given to us as like kind of just like, you're gonna take this today, you're not gonna go to your first 2 periods, you're gonna just take this test. And we were told it wasn't going to affect our grades at all, had no impact. So I know there were kids in my grade who literally didn't do the assignment, like just sat there for the designated period of time. So I don't know how much help that can be, because it wasn't presented as a test that was going to be actually collecting raw data. But.
And the teachers, do you think there's ways to get their opinions by making sure that they're not intimidated or made afraid of the administrative part of their lives?
I recently, one of my teachers this year has expressed how big of an impact that can be in the classroom. But I don't know, I mean, I think if I were a teacher and I were teaching these kids, especially in Massachusetts where education is so strong, I would probably be upset about it, just because why would you want to teach, why would you go from teaching this to teaching that and think nothing of it? I don't understand that mentality. And the teachers that are doing that, I've heard from a few of them, but there aren't a lot of people talking about it. And I think it's kind of bizarre. Like, don't you want the best for us? Like, I know these teachers do care about their students and they care about their jobs and they love doing what they do. But if you love doing what you're doing, then help us by giving us the standards that we can attain and that will help us become better people in society.
And that's why maybe your job, well, your peers' jobs also would be to go to the teachers and make sure that they know that they are going to be supported by the community if they speak out against Common Core, because they know how bad it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, we'll tell them that, like, we'll back you even if you say you don't like Common Core.
Right.
And I mean, I think that's true in some cases. I mean, there are always kids that hate their teachers and hate doing the work at public school too. So I mean, I know that I personally would stand up for most of, if not all of my teachers, but I don't know about everyone else.
It's pretty good. Thank you, Michaela.
You're welcome.